everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing great. How have you been? Have you been practicing? Are you getting better? Are my videos working for you? Please let me know in the comments below. I would love to have some feedback. Now with that note, let's start today's video. Now one of my subscriber had asked me if I could help him understand how we can use could, would and should. Yes, these are very commonly used words, but it could get a bit tricky or confusing while using these words because these words have multiple uses. They are being used in multiple ways to form a sentence which every time gives you a different meaning. Now I will be making this video in 3 parts where I will talk about could, would and should. Today I will talk about could, how to use could in different ways, because the word could has different uses while making sentences. So today let's see how we can use could in different ways or different forms. First of all, you need to understand what is could. This word could is actually the past tense of can, which is present. I hope you all know the very basic of grammar, which has past tense, present tense and future tense. So can is the present tense and could is the past tense of can, but it also has different uses. So that is what we are going to see today. Before moving on to the uses of could, let's first learn what is a modal verb. Now you will ask me, what is a modal verb and why are we talking about it here? Because could is a modal verb. Yes, like I said, it has multiple uses. It is not just the past tense of can, it is also a modal verb. Modal verb is the type of verb which shows modalities or mode or manner, how things exist, how something should exist, okay, how you can express whether a thing should be or should not be, okay. So I will give you an example to understand what modalities are. Modalities are, for example, likelihood, advice, suggestion, permission, offers, orders, requests. So these are modalities, okay, modes or manners, or you could also say tones, different tones, okay. So could will be used in these different tones. We will look at these different ways, different tones, okay. So in English there are few of these modal verbs. Some are must, can, could, will, would, shall, should, may or might. There are few more, but we are not going to look at all these verbs today. We are only going to focus on could, since I am making this video specifically about could, would and should. So I just wanted to mention that these are modal verbs, okay. So you will have a better understanding of what these words are, what kind of verbs they are and how we are going to use this verb, okay. So let's first of all move on to the word could. So like I said, could is the past tense of can, but it also has other uses, because of which it can get a bit confusing of how to use it. So that is exactly what we are going to look at. First of all, let's look at the uses of could, then I will give you the examples for every use, okay. So let's look at the first use of the word could. So the first use is in the form of past tense. Like I mentioned that it is the past tense of the word can, which is the present tense. So let's look at an example to use it in form in the past tense, okay. So before mentioning the past tense, I will give you example for the present, so you will understand how it became the past tense, okay. I can read one page of a book in 1 minute. So here we are using the word can. You are talking about the present, right now, today, present. So how we will use could and how it becomes in the past tense? You will say that in my previous years, or you could say that in the last year or last year, I could read one page of a book in 1 minute. Did you see the difference? Here it becomes a sentence which is in the past tense, something that you could do last year or earlier or previous years. Okay, something that you did in the past. Now you don't do that. So could is used here in the form of past tense. I hope you understood that. Let's look at the other uses. The second way of using the word could is in form of future possibilities. Yes, in situation of future possibilities. I'll give you a few examples so you'll get it. It could rain today. It could rain today. Something that hasn't happened yet. It could happen. It could rain. So you're understanding how we are using the word could here. You're using for a situation that hasn't happened. It is in the future. So future possibilities. It could happen. It could rain today. I'll give you a few more examples. The shop could be closed. You don't know. You haven't been there. When you will be there, you don't know if it is open or closed. So you are, expecting, you are anticipating. It could be closed. The shop could be closed. Okay. So it's in the future. You don't know yet. I could fall ill. You could fall ill. It hasn't happened yet. It's in the future. It could be. It is a future possibility. So it could happen. You could fall ill. I could fall ill. The traffic could be worse on that road. You don't know. You haven't seen. But you are, anticipating that this could happen. So these are few examples to show how you can use the word could for a situation where there is a future possibility. So this is another way of using the word could. Please go through the examples again so you will understand how you are going to use the word could in a similar situation. The third way of using could can be during and while giving an advice or a suggestion. So let's see some examples. We could go to the movies tonight. It's a suggestion. You are suggesting someone that we could go to the movies tonight. So could is being used in form of a sentence where it is a suggestion. Okay, let's look at another example. We could go swimming. This is another suggestion. You are suggesting something. You could work and maintain a hobby. This is again a suggestion or an advice to a friend that even though you are working, you can still manage to maintain a hobby if you like. You can do both. So you see how we are using could in completely different situation. Previously I mentioned there we are using it in a situation where there could be a future possibility. Here we are using it as a suggestion. Now let's move on to the next form of using could. Now another way of using could be while taking permissions or asking for permission. Let's look at some example to understand this. Could I use your washroom? You are asking for permission to someone for using their washroom. You are asking for permission. So here we are using the word could to ask for a permission. So this is a totally different way of using the word could. Let's look at another example. Could I use your phone? Or you could say, could I borrow your bike for today? Or could I borrow your bike for one day? So in all of these examples, you are asking for permission for something. So could is being used here in form of permission, for asking permission. So do you see the difference? First we saw that it is used in form of past tense, then we saw it is used in a situation where there could be some sort of future possibility, then we used it in form of suggestion, then now we saw that it could be used for asking permissions. There is another way of using could is for requests. Let's look at some examples. Could you hold the lift please? You are asking very politely to someone to hold the lift. So here you are requesting. When there is request, you say it politely, you ask politely. So you are asking, could you please hold the lift? Could you pass me the file? Do you see, you are again asking someone to pass the file, maybe at your office. So you're asking your colleague very politely, could you please pass the file since it's far away from me? Could you close the window? So in all of these examples, you are requesting someone to do an action, to do something. So here we are using the word could in form of requests. So these are some ways in which you can use the word could. I hope you will understand how you're going to use the word could. If you did not, you can please ask me questions in the comment section if you need some more details or you need some more examples to understand it. This first part of the video about could, would and should, we saw what could is. The word is a modal verb, and then we saw there are 5 types of uses how we can use the word could. So it is not just used in the form of past tense, but also these other ways how you can use the word could. So I hope it will get a bit easier for you to use this word while writing or speaking. Please let me know in the comments below if this video was helpful. So with that, I will take your leave. I will be seeing you in another video soon with the word would and should. So until then, please keep practicing. I always stress on this fact that you need to practice, and you don't always need a person or another person to practice English. Just start talking to yourself. Start talking in the mirror. It helps, believe me. Just start talking aloud. So we will talk about that later in another video if you want me to make a video about that. So it gets easier in speaking. See you soon next week. Till then, take care and goodbye.